Going on to you, dear Aries? How y'all doing? So, there's a link in the comment section below called a Linktree link. Click on it. It will redirect you to a website which has all the ways to financially support the channel. Everything from birth chart readings, tarot readings, all of that. Come through, get a reading from me or a birth chart reading, right? Would really appreciate it if you would, right? Shout outs to everybody that's come through so far. Like it is, I said before, if there was no you, there would be no me. So for you Aries, you have your opposite zodiac sign, right? The Justice, Libra. So Justice, King of Wands, and then you have the Death card. Sorry about that. So what I'm seeing here for you, right? What I'm seeing here for you, Aries, is that the Justice, the King of Wands, and the Death card really does speak to, right? Then you have the Ten of Wands. Wow. Okay. So this reading really does speak to how it is to a lot of you Aries. You have a lot of things going well for you, okay? And a lot of you Aries don't need some goofy coming in trying to interrupt that. A lot of you Aries will hold yourself to a certain perspective and standard now. And you have been doing that for a while. But I mean, from the perspective of like you're getting into some interactions with others and they're kind of shocked at how it is that you Aries are so on point. And what I mean by that is the Justice and the King of Wands, right? Like they're interacting with you, right? However it is. Whether you Aries are the ones going up to them or whether they're coming to you, you Aries are able to actually interact with them. And you're like, hey, what's going on? Trying to get to know them. But then when you Aries start to see that there's something off about them, I just see that a lot of you Aries are putting those people back to the streets. Like, nah, you good. Because a lot of you Aries see what you see the writing on the wall. You see what's coming down the pipe. You see that all it is that certain people are doing is trying to masquerade, right? And trying to make it seem like they're basically being chameleons. They're trying to make it seem like they're decent individuals with a lot to bring to the table, a lot to bring to a relationship. But what they are bringing to a relationship is stress, nonsense, dysfunction. And a lot of you Aries see that about it. And so now, right, so you're able to see it. And when you see it, the Death card happens. You Aries, you like I said, you put them to the streets. You're like, nah, you ghost them. You're like, yeah, nah. You know, no pun intended, you know. You're like, you know, you don't want to have anything to do with them. You literally don't want to have anything to do with them. Some of you Aries may even be cold in the sense of you may call them up or like have a talk with them and let them know, hey, you know, I don't necessarily think that you Aries are telling them that you don't necessarily think that you and them are a good match for one another. Cold, right? Strong, cold like that. Cold like that. So now the Ten of Wands and the Page of Cups now, right, represents because you Aries understand the assignment. You don't have any time to be sitting out here wasting. Like I said before, a lot of you Aries, there's a lot of you are industrious. So a lot of y'all have been having a lot of things popping off well for you, right? The business is good as far as the ability to make money, whether you have a 9-to-5 job, whether you don't, the business is good, okay? Or at the very least comparison, or right, in comparison, it's better now than it was before, right? Recently, right? And then not only that too, but you have less to worry about, less problems that are on your plate. Yeah, you still have problems, but you Aries are able to actually handle those problems, right? Immediately is the point that I'm trying to make. So now a lot of you Aries understand that, yeah, full speed ahead, in the sense that, you've made your own progress the center of your life. A lot of you Aries probably at this point see that relationships, it has to be with the right person. It really does. Because if it's not, this person will really do everything that they can to squander the progress of your own development and the relationship's development. Them pulling you down, who cares, right? Excuse me. Them pulling themselves down, them pulling you down, who cares, is how they think. But them pulling themselves down is still, they don't care, right? So a lot of you Aries have to understand that. You have to understand that, or you should understand that, right? So your own self-development, right? Your own spirituality, your own health, your own 10 life values is pretty much at the center of the universe for you. So a lot of you Aries have way more self-respect than you did, I want to say, a year and a half ago, right? In 2022, where you was going through things with this snotty-headed goofy that all of this that they want to do is come around and have their hand out begging you for money, talking about how it is that they need your help. And you Aries give them some money, right? Not necessarily even on a loan, probably just because you wanted to show them love, could have been a significant other, and then they took the money, and what did they do? They just went ahead and they did a bunch of stupidness with it. So now the Ace of Wands now and the Nine of Wands, right? The Ace of Wands and the Nine of Wands now, right, is all about how it is that you Aries, you understand that you have to treat yourself with self-respect. You have to. You can't just be caught out here, just caught up with giving people so much attention and having them feel good and feel powerful. But then when you actually look at what they bring to the table, they don't bring anything, because a person needs to bring both of those things to the table. They need to bring non-tangible things and tangible things to the table. So a person needs to, a person really does need to have loyalty for real, not just saying that, for real. A person needs to really do bring loyalty to the table. The willingness to learn, right? Money. And a lot of times people sometimes think, my dear Aries, that, well, why is it that both sides need to bring money? Because y'all are adults, right? If one side doesn't bring money, you know what it means? And I'm teaching you Aries the game. You know what it means? It means that they're a bum. Not a vagrant. Somebody that's just down, you know what I mean? Because life or whatever their circumstances, right? Right? A lot of mental issues, a lot of, vagrants have mental issues and stuff like this. So there's that factor. I'm not talking about a vagrant. I'm talking about a bum. A lot of the times, it's this expectation that one side needs to take care of the other side, right? Whoever, in other words, I'm not necessarily putting it off on the thing. I'm talking about, there's this ideology that whatever side makes way more or makes more needs to take care of the other side exclusively, because the side that's lower than the other side, right, that's the quote unquote accepted way of doing things. That's the traditional way of doing things, right? Quote unquote, right? You can see how I think it's stupid. But the truth be told is that if one side is expecting you, Aries, to take care of them, it means that they are a bum. That's why it is that both sides needs to bring things that are non-tangible and tangible. Non-tangible because that's the thing that makes them unique only to them, right? And when the chips are down, those non-tangible things go way further, right, in general anyway, than the tangible things. And the tangible things are just there to keep the level of quality of life to a certain, give the quality of life a certain cushion, right? You don't want to, obviously, you don't want to be walking everywhere, right? You want to be able to have a car or whatever. Maybe even if you do have to walk everywhere, you live in a place like New York City where everything is kind of close to relatively close to you anyway. You understand what I'm saying? So that way it's not like, the next gas station or the next supermarket is like 20 miles out, or 10 miles or 3 miles out. It's like, no, the next gas station is up the street, for me. The next supermarket is across the street, or the bodega across the street. So it's like, you know, let me see. So yeah, so the Nine of Wands and the Ace of Wands represents, like I said before, so guard your own value, Aries. Okay? Anybody coming into your life right now that just wants you to take care of them, they're bums. Because I don't know how productive adults, regardless of how much money they make, if they're not a bum, if they're taking care of themselves, that's the catch-22. They're not going to want you to take care of them like they some sort of, I don't know, like they're broken or something like this. So the Wheel of Fortune now represents, so a lot of you Aries understand from a greater perspective what a relationship is not. And a lot of you Aries understand, because you understand what a relationship is not, the Ten of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles happened, which is, a lot of you Aries need to understand as well that people will seek you out a little bit for your money. That's just the general thing. You need to be able to understand what a relationship is not, at the very least. And a lot of you have, fortunately. You understand that a relationship is a ship, that the two of you have to steer, the two of you have to make an agreement on the destination of where you're going. Are you going to this island, right? Or are you going to long-term island, right? It's a ship. So the Ten of Pentacles now and the King of Pentacles is about how, so one thing that you Aries have to understand too is that if you Aries are splurging, if you Aries are spending a lot of money, just in a general sense, be careful at this time, because you will have someone or people that will try to come up to you and spark up a connection between the two of you, because they will be scoping you out. Like a lot of people will be scoping a lot of people out near car dealerships and places like this, right? Because they figured that if you have enough money to buy a car around this time, then it means, you know what I'm saying, like high-priced items, that it means that you should have some. So you'll have people that you'll end up like randomly coming across, and you'll be like, well, okay, this and the third. Then you come to find out, well, wait, this person lied about the whole thing. The whole thing was a facade. How can that be? Because you have those individuals, those indecent individuals playing game, running game, hanging around certain places, you know what I mean, just to be able to come up to you and talk to you and get you enamored with them. All of that just so that they can get you caught up in the game, their games. So let's clarify the King of Pentacles. All right? But other than that, you Aries are doing really good. You just have to watch out for people that just want to hang around you now, or people that come into your life recently. Because a lot of you Aries, like I said, y'all are coming into some sort of money. So you have the Star card, the Strength, the Three of Wands, the Emperor, and the Six of Pentacles. So a lot of you, the Emperor represents Aries. So you showed up in your own reading, right? The Star card and the Strength represents Some of the qualities that they need to have, they need to be able to want to be with you. They need to have honesty. But do not confuse that for them coming on strong, right? There's no problem with coming on strong, by the way. There's not a problem with people coming on strong. Sometimes people have a problem with it because they think, oh, the person is being clingy. That's not what it is. The person is showing you that they're being serious about you. They're calling you. They're reaching out, right? A lot of times people think that that's a bad thing. Like, oh my gosh, this person is being clingy. Why? Why you say that? Oh, because this person won't stop calling me. It's like, no, they like you and they're just trying to get to know you. You just giving them a chance. Why not just rip the Band-Aid off? Tell them that you're not interested if you're not interested. Instead of doing that, you getting sick to your stomach about how much this person calls you, but you're not picking up, or you know what I mean? Press red on the cell phone, do not answer. So it's like, anyway, the star card and the strength represents how do not be fooled by people's perception that they're trying to give off. Do not be fooled by this, because the Three of Wands represents there will be some people who are still trying to get you to be in their life based upon creating a perception that they have a lot, when in actuality that they don't. So a lot of you Aries are kind of marked a little bit. So the Emperor and the Six of Pentacles represents, make sure, like I said, those people are able to bring tangibles as well as non-tangibles to the table. Non-tangibles first is more important, and then the tangibles. But if they can't bring any kind of tangibles, they're a bum.